Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Rafneet and I'm back with Pando's Eyeshadows finale. This is really exciting finale for me because I just counted and I hit 36 pans in this project alone throughout this year, and that really blows my mind because I used so many eyeshadow palettes and worked on some unexpected shades that I would not have picked otherwise, and worked towards hitting pan on them. So overall this project was really successful for me. So I'm gonna show you what I was working on last month and if I hit pan or not on all of those eyeshadows. I'm just gonna give you guys a spoiler. I hit 2 pans out of those 5 eyeshadows I was working on. And before we get into that, if you are new here, please consider subscribing to my channel because I make a lot of panning videos. I mostly pan eyeshadows. So now let's get into the update. Pardon me, I keep saying update, but it's a finale. And I am pre-filming this video a little bit simply because I hit 2 pans and then the rest of the eyeshadows were nowhere near pan, and I thought just film the finale and give myself a little bit break. If I want to reach for those eyeshadows, I will. If not, totally fine. Let's start with our very first eyeshadow that we were working on for past 2 months, and it comes from my ABH Jackie Aina palette, and it's the second shade in here called Supreme, and this is how it's been looking like for past few months. Last update I had 8 uses on this eyeshadow and then I used it 5 more times. I hit pan on the 4th use. I just used it additional 1 time to kind of expand the pan a little, and this is how the pan is looking like today. That's what our eyeshadow Supreme looks like, and we have a decent sized pan, and it took me a total of 12 uses in this project to hit the pan. I used it total of 13 times, even though it has a lot of previous usage. I'd say it took around 44 uses in total to get the pan. Previously I had used it a lot, but I was not focusing on one place. I was just using it throughout the pan, but nonetheless we have a pan on this eyeshadow, and let me swatch it for you guys. This is how Supreme looks like. Let me expand the swatch a little. So yeah, that's what Supreme looks like. It's so weird that all of the eyeshadows that got randomized last month, all 5 of them just belong to 2 palettes. So the next eyeshadow that I have been working on for past 2 months as well comes from my Glam palette in collaboration with Manish Malhotra, and I was working on this sparkly deep shade, so it has a really deep base with purple shifty sparkles. I used it a total of 11 times and I hit pan on the 10th use, and this is how it's looking like today. As you can see, the usage is throughout the pan, and no, I did not get all of this usage solely by using it on my eyes. I tried to use it on my nails once, and that's where I made most of this progress. I was able to use the product evenly. These pans are really tiny, so an even amount of product gets used either way, especially if you're using finger or an eyeshadow brush, which is fluffier, which is what I was using. And that's the reason it only took me like 10 uses to get pan on this one. But we got a decent sized pan and a nice progress overall. The pan size in here is very tiny, but these eyeshadows are deep. Each of them has 1 gram of product, which is a lot because these ABH eyeshadows have 0.75 grams of product or 0.80. So yeah, something like that. But we got the pan. Oops, I forgot to swatch it. Sorry. That is how that shimmery shade looked like. So as you can see, this is very deep, almost charcoaly black, but it has a lot of shimmer. It's a really fun eyeshadow to work on. And the next eyeshadow is something that we rolled in last month, which also comes from my ABH Jackie Aina palette, and it's the shade called Credit. This is how it was looking like last month. I used it a total of 9 times since last update. This shade is very pigmented. I don't need a lot of it, and we only managed to make a tiny dip on this eyeshadow. This is how it's looking like today. And this eyeshadow is nowhere near pan, even though I have a lot of previous usage on this eyeshadow. It's crazy to think of being an ABH shade because ABH eyeshadows are known to be very easy to hit pan on, but not this one. I think this palette has a few of those eyeshadows that won't be very easy to finish, hit pan on. For example, Credit, and I think Big Wig would be one of them because I had used it a ton, but it shows little to no usage. And Ginger, Edge, like these eyeshadows I have used a ton. I would say the Supreme was the only one that was a little bit powdery and needed some sort of building up to get that bubblegum sort of pink shade. It leans more on the bubblegum pastel sort of shade, but anyway, we don't have pan on Credit yet, and I don't think we'll get pan on this one anytime soon. But yeah, this is what this eyeshadow looks like. It's really nice. I used it in my outer corners a lot. I also wore it as a lid shade for this beautiful smoky sultry look, and I really loved it for that. And moving on to the next eyeshadow, I'd say next two eyeshadows, and both of them come from my Glam palette, and we rolled in these two eyeshadows last month, the peachy one and the purple, sort of like pastel purple eyeshadow. And this is how these eyeshadows are looking like today. So this beige sort of eyeshadow is not showing any sort of dip or progress because I'm using a fluffier brush on this one. Even though I've used it 8 times, it is still nowhere near pan. And we have some dip happening on this purple eyeshadow. I used it 8 times as well, but I was building it up a lot, and I think it's a little bit powdery than this one, and that's the reason the dip is kind of prominent. Here we go. And I feel like if I use it 15 to 20 times more, I might be able to get pan on this one. This is how the purple shade looks like. I didn't want to swatch the beige one because it really doesn't show up. So yeah, that's how the beige shade looks like, and that's how the purple shade looks like. And that was my color story. I really liked it, and it was a really fun one. We hit pan on these two eyeshadows, and we only have the following 3 left. Even though this is finale, I will continue to reach for these palettes, and we'll see if I'm able to make any sort of more progress. But next year and next month will be my Pan Those Eyeshadows intro video, because I just want to start over and see how many more pans I can hit in next year. Even though next year I want to focus on finishing more eyeshadows, but still I'll be doing this project because it's really fun one, and it does push me out of my comfort zone, and it forces me to pair the eyeshadows that I would not think of pairing together. And that's all I have for today's finale. Thank you so much for sticking with me until the end. I hope you have a wonderful day or night depending on when you're watching my video. I will see you in my next one. Until then, take care. Bye.